Hey, hi Aprajita. Good morning.
Yeah, hello Akshay. Good morning.
So let's start the interview. Can you start with your
Mm-hmm.
introduction?
Yeah, sure. Myself, Aprajita Banerjee. I have of around 6.5 years of experience as a software engineer. In my current company, I will be completing 5 years in Kannur Premse. The roles and responsibility which I have gotten the opportunity to work during this tenure basically includes to analyze, develop, and maintain complex data using Python programming language and visualize them in meaningful reports and dashboards using. I have experience with three different visualization tool. So currently, I'm working with Power BI. I have good hands-on experience in continuous integration using the Jenkins module, where I automate the scripts which are written in Python, and the results which are getting exported out of the scripts are usually in JSON and CSV format. These outputs data are taken into the data source. We are using the data source as MS SQL Server. We are storing those data in the data source. We try to do the manipulation or computation on this data using the stored procedure of MS SQL Server database, and then populate the result by connecting these data sources to Power BI and give a meaningful reports or dashboard as per the requirement. I'm also closely involved with requirement elicitation with the technical sales and customers, where I get to know what requirements are coming from the customer for which project, how do we proceed with this requirement, and what KPIs to be generated. These KPIs are then formulated in the form of reports and dashboards, which are shared among the clients as well as the customers, clients and the management to see how the progress of the project is going on. Yeah, so
That's
that's
really great. So, what kind of dashboards you have developed so far?
majorly I have been working with system requirement specifications dashboard where my company Canor Premse is into breakings. So we have various requirement related to breakings and we want to see how this requirement are proceeding. For example, we have our A-Spice assessment where we need to show how we follow the development SDLC process to know that we have to see that how requirements are getting approved, what requirements are into which category of safety, ASIL, DASIL. So all those visualizations are done by me in the form of reports and dashboards in Power BI. And second part of my involvement is with the project quality. In that, I design dashboards to show how the project quality is going on as and when new development happens or as and when the versioning keeps on increasing for the project. So there, the major focus on is the quality of the project, and that means how the memory statistics of the project is working. So how much is the ROM utilization, how much is the RAM utilization, how the build and compilations are working, or we can say how the PC lens are working, cyclometric complexity. All of them are, uploaded into the reports and dashboards, and that is shared among the stakeholders of the company.
Great, great. So, let's start with the optimization part. Like, what are the steps that you would follow to optimize a dashboard?
Yeah. So basically, when we create a dashboard, we are connecting to a data source, and the data source may have a lot of data which may not be necessary as per our requirement. So the first step to optimize is to create a view of that data set so that we can select what we want instead of taking the entire database and all the table dealing with them. We can take the subset of what we want to actually work with for that particular requirement, and then we can start working on that. Maybe it may happen. Secondly, it may happen that the data is in the raw format, it is not in a computed format. Then we'd have to do some computations on those data. The computation should be such that it is direct, it's not that complex, and easier format so that the retrieving of data can be done easily. So majorly these two steps we can follow to optimize the data.
Great, great. So, have you worked on schedule refresh?
Yeah, I do have worked in
So,
schedule
what are the
refresh.
different options present in Power BI?
Yeah, as far as I remember, it is automatic refresh or manual refresh. We can, in schedule refresh, we can define at what during what time of the day we want to refresh the data. And once we do that, at that particular time, let's say tomorrow 10 a.m. or every day 10 a.m., I want to refresh my data. If it is a direct query with my database, it retrieve all the new data and it will start uploading or updating the dashboards accordingly. And one is the manual refresh that we can go and directly do the refresh to the dashboard so that the new data can be retrieved from the data source.
Great, great. So what is the difference between the calculated column and the measures?
Yeah. Basically, calculated columns are I would say the commands where we write, I mean, aggregation or sum of already present columns. So if we want to create a new column which are from the raw column which we have, then we can write calculated columns. Measures are something which we modify the already present column with some computations on them. So what I have the experience, I have used measures where I want to reflect the data as a heading of my dashboard by selecting the filters. So whichever filter I select, it should go and reflect it in the heading. So this dashboard, for example, this dashboard is for which module. I can select it from the filters which I have configured, and I can write a measure for that. So that means I am already working with the existing column, and calculated columns is I am creating a new column from already existing column. So it's not the same column on which I'm trying to do the computation. I'm creating a new column for that.
Great, great. So can you tell me how to implement the dynamic row level security?
Um, I know about security, but sorry, I don't know about this term. Um, I know that we can provide different level of access to our dashboards and reports so that a person when we are sharing, because we have two ways of creating dashboard. One is desktop, but that is a local way of creating. Once we publish it to the server, we have to share it among other colleagues. So we can share it in a various manner depending upon the authentication the person can have. So if a person can have the rights to change the dashboards or to modify the dashboards, then we can give the administrative access to that person. But if the target audience is just to read, then we can just give the read access instead of giving all the modification access. But the similarity between both of them will be they can access the dashboard in a dynamic manner without I mean, it will not be a static. They can use the filters, and by using the filters they can see the changes in our reports which we have implemented.
Great, great. Fair enough. Okay, that's fine. I will give you one scenario. Let's
Mhm,
consider you have a new requirement from the stakeholder, and the stakeholder have the data, sales data basically for the current year
mhm,
and previous year. So he wants to see the current year sales target along with the previous year sales and target plus the percent difference of the current year and previous years in the single chart,
mhm.
like in a single plane. So what visual you try to create?
Okay, I will just repeat so that I can understand. Please let me know if I have
Mm-hmm.
correct
Yeah, yeah.
understanding. We want to see the sales of the previous year, current year, plus we want to see the percentage difference between the current year and previous year.
Mm-hmm. And along with
Uh, s-
that, when he see the sales for current year and previous year, he want to see the actual sale and target sales also.
Actual sales and target
Yeah.
sales. Okay. So in this case, I will go for a dual axis bar graph
Mm-hmm.
where I will have in the dual axis, I will have the sales, and it will be divided in the bar graphs format. So stacked bar I will have, and the percentage difference will be in the next y axis
Mm-hmm.
where it will show a plain single line graph which will show how my percentages are working. So in the stacked bar graph, it will show the current sale and how it is performing, the previous sale and how it was performing, and on the right side y-axis, it will show the percentage difference between both of them.
Correct. So on the top of it, now stakeholder is saying like he have many products under his sales, but when he
Mhm.
seeing the dual axis, there are too many bar charts he's seeing on the dashboard. So
Okay.
how would you tackle that? Like he wants to see a minimum bar charts, but want to see the same data.
Mhm. I will do the group by based on the projects, products. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we can group it based on the products so that now instead of showing individually each product and repeated each product, I will group it. Or we also have a option to drill it down. So once I have configured the graph on a raw level with product aggregation, when I click on that, it will redirect me to the detailed version of that product. So I can go with this option.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll move to DAX now. I'll give you one
Mhm.
simple query only. Let's consider you
Okay.
have the dataset, date, product category, and amount. Okay. So can you write a DAX query to calculate sum of the sales across all product category?
Okay. Shall I share my screen?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay, can you repeat it, please? We
Yeah.
have the data set for.
You have sales table. In the
Okay.
sales table, you have three columns like date, product category,
Mm-hmm.
and amount. Amount is refers to
Okay.
sales amount. So you have to calculate the sales amount across all product category.
Okay. Mhm.
Mm, Yeah, we want to do it in DAX like Power BI. How we'll do it?
Okay. Okay. So I'll select the sum of the amount
Mm-hmm.
and I'll group it group by product category. So it like for example, we have X, Y, and Z product. It will return us the amount of, I mean, the first group of, it will give the sum of the sales for product X. It will give the um, sum of the amount for product Y and sum of the product for sum of the sales for product Z.
I think in DAX we have filter options for product.
Uh, Here, instead of group by,
Yeah. Have you developed the DAX queries in Power BI? I mean,
I do know
mhm.
it. I have used it, but I'm not currently that much working in it currently. So yeah, I don't remember the exact queries, but yeah, I have used the DAX commands.
Okay. Okay. So we have a date column, right? So can you only calculate the same sales for a current year?
Yeah, I mean with DAX query, maybe I'm not sure how to do it, but
You
yeah,
can give me pseudocode also, like that will work.
okay, for the current year.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I'm getting confused. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges you have faced while developing the dashboards?
Yeah. Mostly the challenges which I have faced was data loading. When we were sharing the dashboards with our stakeholders, it was that because we were not using the views at the very beginning, we were trying to retrieve the data and work on that. That was the one major, challenge which we wanted to refresh the data on a regular basis because our changes were on a regular basis in an interval of 4 hours. So we wanted the latest data to be updated, but then we resolve it by using, using a set of datas out of the entire data. That was one. Second was with the visualization because the data source which we were using was MS SQL Server, and in that data source, the understanding of the architecture was very important before we go ahead and design any dashboard. So there, the dynamic nature of the data or the tables were one thing which we were facing a challenge to design it in a manner that it can be incorporated with the requirement which has been stated. So the requirement was to show the graphs in a manner that both the data from all the data from the tables can be incorporated in a manner that it is visualizing in if we visualize it, it does not look very complex, but it can be drilled through. So we have configured in a manner that at the very beginning, it was the overall data where we have given the representation, but by clicking the drill through option, we can go into the deep down to see how minute we can see the data and records.
Okay, great. So what are the different functions available in DAX? Are you aware? Like
Sorry.
in the DAX, what are the different functions available?
Yeah. So I have majorly worked with the aggregations function. So aggregation sum, max, min. If I want to do the filtering, also I have worked with filters where I want to filter the null values and take only the relevant data out of the columns.
Okay, so we have sum and sum x available in DAX. So can you tell me the difference?
Sorry, I can't recall it as of now.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we are good at Power BI side. We will start with the
Hmm.
SQL round now.
Okay.
So how good you are in writing up SQL queries?
Um, in a scale of 1 to 5, I will rate myself 3.
Okay, so let's consider. Just share your notepad. I will tell you the
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah. Yeah.
So let's say you have a customer table,
Hmm.
and in customer table you have the customer name, customer order ID, amount, and date.
Okay.
So can you write a SQL query to retrieve top 5 customer who had highest purchased and top 5 customer had lowest purchase? Like,
Okay. Yeah, I'll try this. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't get it currently. Sorry. This is a very easy, scenario, but yeah.
Okay, so let's make it little bit simple.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to retrieve a data having only highest sales amount to lowest sales amount. Just try to do it.
Highest amount.
Highest sales amount to lowest. Like you have to use the order by on amount.
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now if you do the group by on order ID or customer name, let's say doing on order ID, then
Mm-hmm.
what will be the output? You have to use
Okay.
the sum of amount in the select, like after the name, because we are using group, so
Yes,
we need one
yes, yes.
aggregation.
Right, right.
Okay, so can you tell me the output of this query? Now you have to group it
Yes,
by order ID.
yes. Okay. It will give us the name, the set of orders. So if for one order, how many, what is the total sum that person placed? So that will be grouped, and that will be in a ascending order. So lowest will be the first, and at the end it will be the highest.
Right, so
Yeah.
we need from highest sales amount to lowest, so we will what we will do
Uh,
in order
we'll
by.
order by descending wheel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So now you have the data from highest sales amount to lowest sales amount along with all customer
Mm-hmm.
name, order ID. We did group by on order ID. That means whatever order had punched multiple times, we have aggregated some.
Yes.
So now the next step is you have to only retrieve top 5 customers out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can select name, and I can give till how many, there is a way where we can take the top five, select name, comma five. It will give the first five
Mm-hmm.
output from the table.
Okay, and can you do it without using that top 5?
Okay.
Have you worked on the Windows function?
No.
Okay, like theoretically, are you aware like what are the different Windows function available?
Windows function. Can you give me one reference if I can?
Like rank, dense rank.
Yeah, I do know about rank. Yeah, I do have some knowledge of rank, but not very much. Yeah, we can do the ranking, and we can get the indexed value out of the tables.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We
uh,
can give here the rank and
exactly.
yes,
If you're
I think.
comfortable, can you try to apply the Windows function over here, like a suitable Windows function on? I will give a hint. You have to apply that on order ID.
Okay.
Not over there. I like that. You need to little bit make like you need to do a smaller changes in existing query. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's move to the next question. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
So have you faced any challenges while developing SQL queries on your day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I actually have. When we were working with Grafana, so in Power BI, we do the modeling by taking the data tables directly and then using the DAX query. But in my previous visualization tool, Grafana, it was all about writing query where I was writing complex queries with inner joins. But the problem over there was when there is null data, when there is character data, it was not getting, the keys, the matching of the keys were very crucial at that point where we have defined the relationships. So that was one challenge which we have to retrieve the character data which were in the format of char or string. That data retrieving was a problem because the matching of those with the related fields were
Mhm.
it was not established. Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me the basic difference between the group by and having?
Yeah. Group by is basically I'm sorry, I just forget. I'm
Yeah,
getting a
yeah,
bit
that's
blank.
fine. That's fine. Take your
Yeah.
time. Be relaxed. No issue.
Group by is grouping on based on the values which we have provided. So if I said group by order ID, it will search the table and return it in the form that it is um, it is grouped in collection format. But
Mhm.
having, we can use it maybe without the, it can be used, group by can be used without the where condition, but having has to be used with the condition which we have specified. So we have to write a condition of where to use having.
Mm, not really. We cannot
Okay.
use because where we are applying a condition, like if you are using where, we are
Mm-hmm.
giving some condition, and in having also we are giving some conditions. So
Okay.
okay, so let's say you have the existing table, sales table, date, product, category
Mm-hmm.
and amount, and now you have to retrieve a records for the customer who had made more than 3 orders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the customer having more than 3 order IDs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can write a fresh query, I think that will return the
Okay.
error.
Okay. Sure. Sure. No, I can just write, if I want that, I can just select the name from the customer's item where the count of order ID is greater than 3. So it will give all the name of
Mhm.
the customer who have ordered more than 3 items.
Okay, so what are the different joints available?
Yeah, so there is inner join, outer join, left join, and right join.
Okay, I'm giving you one table in chat box, just a second. Mm, Can you copy and paste that to your notepad?
Yes.
Okay. So can you apply self join on this table and write the output?
Yes, yes.
We are good with query, like just write the output.
Okay, okay, okay. By self-joining,
Mm-hmm.
it will have, I mean, repeated, I mean, this will be repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this
Okay.
on a row-wise column. Yeah, because we are joining it on the same column,
Mm-hmm.
so it will give us the value in, I mean, the same values as only.
Okay. Okay. I'm giving you another table now.
Mhm. Okay.
So can you perform the left join on the table A and table B and just
Mm-hmm.
write the output?
Okay. Do I need to write the query?
No, no, just write the output.
Okay. Yeah, it will have all the entries from table A. Table A, if I'm left joining it with table B, so it will have all the entries which are matching as well as the entries which are already present in table A.
Mm-hmm. And what about the non-matching records?
Of table B, it will not take the table B records, but if of the table A, it will take as 6 it is taken,
Mm-hmm.
so it will give the output of 6 as well
Okay.
because we
And
are doing the left join.
okay. And if I apply the full outer join, then what will be the output?
Then only the matching columns will be available.
No, for
So,
full outer join. I think that will be for the inner joint.
okay, okay, okay. Then, I mean, the mm, values which are explicitly there in the tables will be there in the output values.
Can you tell me how many records will be there in output?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Two records will be there.
For full outer join?
Only the common values will be eliminated. Only the values which are explicitly present in table A and table B will be there. I feel so. The 6 and 5 from table A and table 5 will be the output.
Not really. If we
Okay.
apply the full outer join, then we will
Mm-hmm.
get the total number of rows from table A multiplied by total number of rows in table B, like m into n.
Okay. So it will have both the outputs, like
Yeah,
table A's output as well. Okay.
yeah, okay. So let's say you have this same table, consider table A, and you have some duplicates records. right? If you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
1 and 2 is repeated,
Mm-hmm.
so can you write a query to identify those record, like duplicate record?
Yeah, okay. Okay, I have written two, so we can take out the duplicates by you if we want the distinct and which are not distinct value, we can take out the distinct value, which I mean duplicates value, or we can use the duplicate to find what is repetitive in my table A.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, fair enough. Okay, I will give you one scenario. Let's consider you have a table. In the table, you have a date column. Okay, but by default, the data type for the date column is character. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was on mute. So okay, that's fair
Acha.
enough. So
Or I can write it in where condition X is not in a distinct of a X. So yeah, that can also be done.
yeah, correct. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I will give you one more scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let's consider you have a sales table. In the sales table, you have a date column. Okay, so by
Okay.
default, the data type for date column is character,
Okay.
and that's why when you are trying to filter the dates, you are getting error.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you tackle that problem?
Yeah. We can, when we write a query, either we can retrieve the date in the format like date equals to, then, for example, 04082023. So this is how we can actually retrieve the, I mean, date which are in the character format,
Mm-hmm.
but we can still use it in our query. So this problem we faced when we were using MS SQL Server.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there we were not able to because it was in character format. Somebody designed the entire database in a manner, so we had retrieved it using this format.
Okay. Okay. Good. I will give a second scenario. In the chat box, I gave you one sentence.
Mhm.
So just imagine you have a new requirement and the stakeholder have the row table and the row table have a single column. Okay,
Mhm.
and the data like this is present in single column, and he is asking you to split this data across a different column with the meaningful name.
Okay.
So can you write the query for this?
Uh, if my understanding is clear, I have to create the columns, and under these columns, I have to keep the value. Is it like that?
Yes.
Okay.
For example, let's say the first name is Amarnath. So the column name supposed to be name, and under the name Amarnath word should be there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
the second name is Reddy, so that's supposed to be the last name, like that.
Okay. So I need to create a table for this.
The table is already there. You have to
Okay. Okay.
create a, let's say you have to create a view out of this row table.
I mean, I know the process. I mean, I can create a stored procedure which can do this activity
Mm-hmm.
of creating this. But writing the syntax currently, I'm not
Can
really
you
sure
can you
about.
just give me the logic, like what logic
Yeah,
you'll
I
try to
will.
apply?
Yeah, I will first start taking out one items from this string. So first is the Amarnath. I will map it to the column name which I want to create. So I will create the name column and I will map that to the name Amarnath. Second, I will go to the second part which is ready. I'll create a next column that is surname and I will map that to the surname item. Similarly, the city and so on. So I will keep on creating and mapping the values with the column names which I will be adhering or I will be creating.
Okay, fair enough. So you said you had worked on other BI tool also. So
I
which?
have worked on Tableau. I
Mhm.
have 1.5 years of experience in Tableau and in Grafana.
Okay, so can you tell me what difference you face like between Tableau and Power BI?
Yeah. Actually, the major reason why we have, there were few reasons why we have migrated from Tableau to Power BI because Tableau is Gartner's number one BI tool. But the problem over there, first is it's a very expensive tool. So in comparison, if I say cost effectiveness, then Microsoft Power BI is much cost effective in comparison to Tableau. Second challenge where we faced, if I say about the functionality, it was giving us the same functionality. All the features which are present in Tableau are also present in Power BI. But the problem was because we are generating the reports and dashboard to share it among our colleagues and stakeholders, it should be in a manner that anyone can access it without further authentications. I mean, if I give the authentication to read and write, they can go ahead and see the dashboard and do the modifications on the same. But with Tableau, the problem was when I created in my desktop and published it on my server, I had the admin rights or I have purchased the admin license, which was allowing me to go and see the dashboards and do the changes. But if I wanted to share it with other colleagues of mine, I had to share my admin credential with them so that they can go ahead and look at them, look at the dashboard. But that was not the very proper way of sharing a dashboard. Then we have also tried to approach that what we can do to resolve this issue, but the only solution was to get as many license as many number of people we are going to share the report with, not the admin license, but there was a viewer's license as well. But
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm sharing with one colleague, I have to buy one license, and if my target audience is more than one, then I have to do 10 licensing for that. Second problem was with the data loading time. The data loading time in Tableau was much higher. Also, the hardware requirement to set up the Tableau server and the Tableau desktop was much higher in comparison what we have in Power BI. So this was a major issue which we have faced while we were working with Tableau in comparison to Power BI.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. Yeah, I think we are good. So do you have any questions for me?
Hello?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are on good now. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wasn't able to perform. I mean, at the best, but I would really like to know your review on this same. And I would like to thank you. It was a very good experience for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is where like you will have to little bit brush up on SQL, but
Yeah.
the logic was correct. You
Mhm.
at least try to attempt the question and
Yeah.
try to build a logic. That's a good attitude, like I think, and overall it is good.
Mhm.
And
May
mhm.
Akshay, if I mean, I don't know, but if I get a chance, then I would also like to know about the project, how it is operating, and what is the role you are looking for.
Uh-huh. Like the client is in a banking domain,
Okay.
and they are looking out someone who is good in developing the Power BI dashboard and building up
Mhm.
the SQL scripts for them,
Okay.
and someone who know the cloud environment, like mostly they are using the Snowflake, but that's fine.
Mhm.
It will come up with the actual experience, like. So in a nutshell, they want someone who is good at developing the Power BI dashboard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. I will share my feedback with HR. She will get in touch
Mhm.
with you.
Okay. Okay, Akshay.
Yeah.
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 Thank you very much for your time. It was a really good experience
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Have
Yeah.
a good day
Thank
ahead.
you.
Yep.
Yeah. You too. Bye.